Hi there. Today we're going to talk about boat maintenance. Now we've been stuck on the boat for the last 24 hours. It's been raining and blowing like nobody's business. There is loads and loads and loads of debris in the water. Check that out. But what it also means is it's the perfect time to tackle some inside boat maintenance jobs. These never end, like never end. These jobs just go on and on and on, and that is perfect. If you love tinkering, you'll love owning a boat. Today, we're tackling the water system. Woohoo! But before we talk about the water system, let's talk about where we are in Havelock. See that? That little stream. That stream is fantastic. It keeps our boat sitting in about a metre of fresh water, but when there's a storm and when there's heaps of rain in the hills, we get this in the marina. So all of this little stuff is no big drama. It's just unsightly. But further out there, that's the problem. We have some big floating logs. Good times. Now these get jammed in between the jetty and the boat, which is not good. There's some more out there. Joyous. So you can see here where it gets to be a problem. When these bits of wood get jammed in there, they end up scratching up the anti-foul, which is not good. And then further out, you'll see some great little obstacles to dodge. Check that out. So you can only imagine what it's like out there in the Sounds. There will be huge logs. Around the corner, the Pelorus River just feeds into the Sounds, and it's a big river, and so there's lots of volume and it carries big logs. So you don't often get the big logs here in the marina, but out in the Sounds, in the inner Sounds, you're having to dodge those bad boys. So it's quite fun being out in the Sounds in the storms and the rain and the wind, on anchor somewhere, some remote little bay. It's quite exciting. However, at the end of the day, it's actually a lot more calm and a lot safer, and you just sleep so much better when you're back in port, tied up and out of harm's way. So that's been our default setting. Whenever there's big storms, we come in. It's just much easier. Welcome to the engine room of the Oriental Lady. Behind me right here are two twin Caterpillar 3208 marine diesel engines, 475 horsepower each. Absolute beasts, but very economical and requiring constant maintenance. These are old, these are 40 years old I guess, and need some love all of the time. This is the purpose of this video, is to talk about the constant tinkering, the constant maintenance, the constant jobs that you will find yourself having when you own a boat like this. Now that's not a bad thing. I personally really enjoy it. I enjoy the problem solving. I enjoy the hands-on nature of having to get in and be self-sufficient, be self-reliant, and just nut out a problem, find a solution and get the job done. And if I muck up, there's always professionals close at hand to come and fix whatever I have broken, which happens a lot. And that's one of the great things about having a boat like this, of this era, is that there is a constant stream of jobs to do. There's a constant list of maintenance that must be kept up on, and there's upgrades. So this is one of those times. Today we are going to be upgrading our water system. It's fantastic having huge amounts of water on board. We've got big tanks in the aft master stateroom and underneath the bed. So that's our main water supply. In the engine room, we've got an emergency water tank of 200 litres, which never gets used really, but it's great to have it there, and it's great as a backup, and it certainly gives us enough water to get back to port and refill if we run out of water. However, it's old, and the whole system is old. And today I'm going to be replacing the sight glass so that I can actually accurately see where the water level is, because currently I have little to no idea. It's all just guessing, which especially when you're out off grid, guessing how much water you have is never a good thing. So today's upgrade is going to help our life out immensely. It's a really simple fix. I just require a few basic tools, but spare parts is the essential thing. Now, I carry a lot of spare parts for most things, not for everything, but for most things. So thankfully I've got some sight glass tubing, which is like a clear rubbery plasticky type tube, and we'll go and set about replacing that. Here we have 3 big plastic boxes of spare parts, a box of fluids, oils, transmission fluid, coolant, all of that stuff, a nice little fire blanket, and up here is the engine room tools, which are just a pretty basic condensed version of the tools that we carry, a backup duplicate set of sorts, just primarily for engine room maintenance. If I need more tools, I've got more tools outside of the engine room. But this set here hopefully is enough to see us through this job without having to go and unpack the tool cupboard. So here we go. As always, engine room yoga. There's not a lot of space in here, so it's all a bit of contortion and moving stuff around to make room for other things. I'm not certain which box has which things in it. My system is not that great, but here we go, first time. So this is our kind of electrical and plumbing box. So I carry an enormous amount of different hose clips, which are very important. And somewhere in amongst all of this, ta-da, this is what we're looking for. Some sight glass line. So fingers crossed, this is what we're looking for. Right, so let's crack into it. On closer inspection, this is not the line that I'm looking for. However, I do have these other 2 bits of line, which these 2 are the same length, and I'm pretty sure this is the line that I'm looking for. This might be too small in diameter, but let's have a go. And I'm guessing this is an old sight glass that has gotten all milky and hard to see through and it's been replaced. This is the bit of line that is spare, and it looks like it is precisely exactly the length that we need it to be. So fingers crossed we don't have to cut anything, and it's just going to fit into place seamlessly. As you can see, this is the line here, which is our sight glass. Very milky and murky and hard to see through. This line is new and transparent and exactly the right length. So fingers crossed, this is all an easy fix. Right, so first thing we need to do is get this hose clamp off. And get this line out. Right, so as per everything, nothing is easy. Oh, there we go. So that's the first bit off. And we'll test fit this new line. Make sure that it is the line that we're looking for. Yep. So we'll connect that. Actually, I've learnt this lesson the hard way. Never ever ever leave sharp bits pointing where you can cut yourself on them. So how am I going to do this? Make sure that cable tie is retained. So the reason why I readjusted that was this little bit here. If it's sticking outwards, at some point I'm sure to catch myself on it. Right, the next bit is going to be the messy bit. So depending on how much water we've got in here, which I'm guessing is about half a tank, as soon as I undo this, we're going to have water everywhere. So I'm going to have to be reasonably quick. So we'll take this hose clamp off, put it on the new one, and tighten it just a little bit so that it stays in place. Alright, here we go. Prepare for water everywhere. Done. So that wasn't that bad. Alarmingly, there was a lot of gunk in the bottom of that. So it's probably a necessary thing to do every once in a while. And now it's just a matter of tightening up that hose clamp. And I'll re-tighten this one. And there we have it. Job done. So that was an amazingly fast boat job achieved. So murky line, I'll keep that because it's always good to have a spare line. But as you can see, we can now very easily see, sorry, so now we can see exactly where the water is.